it's really striking that he became Pope at a really critical juncture of history, and the communism fell while he was the Holy Father, and many commentators say that his moral leadership played a key role in inspiring people, not only in his native Poland, but all throughout Eastern Europe, to seek freedom. What was it that John Paul II, what was it about his moral leadership, and what was it about what he was telling them about true freedom that you think really inspired those people to become free?
I think what resonated in people's hearts everywhere was the directness and the simplicity of his message that every human being has a dignity that doesn't come from anyone but God. The very fact that we're born, that we're alive, we have a human dignity. It's not granted by the state. It's not given to us by some government. There's not some charter written somewhere that bestows rights on us. All those are called to recognize the right that is already there, our dignity made in the image and likeness of God. And I think that was at the heart of his message. It came at a time when people were open to hearing it. And it came in a way that was basically non-confrontational. It was just irresistible. He could say, as he did in Warsaw, in Krakow, during his visit there at the Częstochowa, who we are is a gift from God. That beautiful talk, never forget who you are. Thank God for your identity because it comes from God. It was a time when the alternate message, the world of the Soviet Union, of communist domination, of centrally planned economies, of the refusal to admit the singular quality of individuals, had run its course. It had exhausted itself in its own failure, in its own falsehood.
And how fitting was it that he, nearly every pastoral visit to all those 130 countries, he made a point to meet with young people. And he also inaugurated World Youth Day. What did that say about him and his vision for the church?
Well, I think a lot of it grew out of the fact that when he was young, remember, as a university student, he and his colleagues had to try to keep the faith alive in circumstances that were very, very depressing. This was during the Nazi occupation. And I think he realized what was happening, that if there is going to be a continuation, a passing on, a renewal, it has to involve young people. They're the future. And he developed such an ease during his entire ministry as a priest and later as a bishop that he never lost as Pope. He just had a way of reaching people. I remember at Denver, World Youth Day, I marveled. There were 500,000 young people. Now that pales alongside of 3 million at Copacabana Beach, but there are 500,000, and you could see the connection. Here, this is at the end of Mass, and the Pope is giving this little farewell talk, and he didn't want to leave, and they didn't want him to leave. How do you connect with 500,000 people? I don't know, but he did, and regularly did. Young people just felt they knew him one-on-one. And I remember talking to some of our young people when they came back from that, and you would have thought that they had sat and talked with the Pope. They would tell you what he said. They would repeat in his homilies what he said, but as if he had said it just to them. It was a gift.